evening, football fans, and welcome to 3 and Out right here on iSports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. What a day of football we just had. Was it not fun from the morning all the way to, well, the build-up now of Sunday Night Football? We'll be jumping on for the next 30-ish minutes to talk about all that fun stuff from today. Earlier, man, this morning was a goodie. Was it not? Was it not fun in Dublin watching those Steelers edge out the Vikings? We were on live during that game. Could have been anybody's game at that point in time. We learned the Steelers got the better of the Vikings. Giants just pulling off a win. Like, I cannot believe that this team actually did that. A winless Giants team defeats an extremely good Chargers team. We'll talk about that one coming up today. Texans took care of business. Falcons are starting to really change my mind about them, as we knew they might actually have done that this season, right? We talked about that in 8 divisions in 8 days, that they might just pop out and be this surprise team, and honestly, they might be on the way to doing that. Bills handled business versus the Saints, but was it too close? Nah, just kidding. Bills just had a really off day. Eagles. This team can battle with the best of them. That's why a lot of people are saying this team could pull the repeat, but we'll see. Lions handling business as we thought they would. The Patriots looking amazing. However, it's just the Panthers. And oh yeah, the Jaguars pulling one heck of an upset. Rams winning this thing in the last minute and 33 seconds today. And oh, those poor Ravens. Oh, what is in the future for this Ravens team? We are a quarter of the way through the season. Well, almost. But for the Ravens, I don't know if it's season over just yet. But right now, I don't know if we're being too dramatic, but this is looking grim already. However, the Chiefs took full advantage of that, giving themselves quite the victory. And the Raiders lose in only the only way the Raiders can lose, right? Good for the Bears, bad for the Raiders. And oh yeah, we got a Sunday night game to play tonight. Who you taking, Packers or Cowboys? You are now tuned in live to 3 and Out right here on iSports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sport. Welcome, football fans. How's everyone doing? Hope you're doing great, because I definitely am, man. It's been a fun Sunday, great Sunday of football. And well, again, I hope all of you are having a wonderful weekend, that is. But man, some teams I've seen better days. Others, well, they're right where they should be. As I'm watching Jerry Jones talk about how horrible his Cowboys are on the TV, let's go ahead and turn on to something better and talk about some, football that actually makes sense, unlike the football going on in Dallas. And to do that, ladies and gentlemen, bringing on my boy, man. He, of course, is host of our volleyball show coming on tomorrow night, Set Point, and, of course, our SoCal Insider. And, oh, yeah, he cheers on those Chargers and Rams. Not happy in one game, but definitely happy in the other. Ladies and gentlemen, my boy, Teran Rodriguez. What's going on, man?
Hey, Larry. Doing good. I was not happy with the Chargers, but good win for the Rams. I was impressed by them. But let's get on into the entire Sunday slate.
It was a day, was it not? I mean, that was a day of football. I don't know. Some people may not think of it as the best day. Some might have thought that was the best day. Regardless, I don't know. But what I will say is that was a lot of fun. No matter what happened, that was a lot of fun today. Just watching some teams winning, some teams falling, and boy, some undefeateds going down. Oh, it was a good one. Let's go ahead and just get this thing going underway, Taryn. We're live for the next 30 minutes. Let's rock and roll, man, into the day of the NFL. So here we are, NFL Week 4. It's been a doozy so far. Obviously, we talked all about Thursday Night Football and those Seahawks getting it done over the Cardinals. The woes continue for the Cardinals, but the Seahawks looking pretty solid. Now, let's go ahead and roll on into the Steelers and Vikings. Now, Steelers, look, this morning was a fun morning, okay? I loved this game. To me, this was like one of my favorite games of the day. It was so close yet so far, right at the end. I mean, what can you do? Steelers coming out, I don't know. They made it look good. They made it look easy, but then and sometimes I guess they look kind of short. So Aaron Rodgers manages the game. Kenneth Gainwell pounds in 2 touchdowns. DK Metcalf looked very sharp with 126 yards. Pittsburgh edges out Minnesota 24-21 in the first ever regular season game in Dublin for those guys. Teran, well, ever, but first ever regular season game in Dublin. Teran, how about these Steelers getting this thing done over the Vikes?
Yeah, I thought it was a pretty good win for Pittsburgh. I feel they just jumped out to a pretty early lead, and they were pretty much in control through 3 quarters. I think they kind of put themselves in cruise control a little too early in the 4th quarter, and that's why the Vikings kind of made one last push. But the Steelers defense is pretty stout. Vikings defense wasn't too bad either, but without Jalen Warren, Steelers needed to lean on Kenneth Gainwell, and he was able to deliver. DK Metcalf finally had himself a legacy game for Pittsburgh, and he was basically the offense. He and Gainwell were the offense. So overall, a great win for Pittsburgh, and Steelers are trying to find their footing.
They are. They really are. The Steelers had a quite the day, and I don't want to say that in the most positive way. There were parts of this game where I really thought they looked great. And then there were other parts where I was like, look, I'm not gonna take anything away from the Vikings. They came out and played. They did their thing. All right. But when it comes down to it, I don't know, man. It just kind of seems like, obviously, we know they're growing with JJ, they're doing their thing, I don't know. The Vikings are just an odd team. I knew they were going to be kind of odd this year. Both of us knew they were going to be either really, really good, feast or famine, basically. But what do you do? Overall, those Steelers, they look pretty awesome. But I don't know, man. Giving it looked like they damn near gave that game away, and that was very frustrating.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I know you had our very own Ralph Calise calling for calling again for his favorite coach Tomlin. So. Calling for his job earlier. So anyway, it's Aaron. There we have it. Let's go ahead and close the door on that game because it was a fun one. Now, here's the next game. You'll notice the color change on the bottom, Teran. Take a look. Keep on looking. Oh, whose color is that? Well, let's go ahead and talk about it. Chargers, Giants, Teran. Oh, no. Welcome to the NFL. Jackson Dart. The rookie throws and runs for scores as the Giants shocked the previously unbeaten Chargers 21-18. The New York Giants moved to 1-3, while the Chargers pick up their first loss of the season. I know this one hurts a little bit, Teran. So just peel off the Band-Aid. What?
Yeah, I mean, the Chargers' offensive line just kept getting beaten up. I mean, they were without Mekhi Becton, no Trey Pipkins. Joe Alt got injured. It was just one bad thing after another. And thankfully for Alt, it wasn't anything bad. It's a high ankle sprain for him. But still, everyone's got to realize that the Giants actually have a pretty good defense outside of the whole Cowboys game. And, I mean, their defense did kind of keep the Chiefs at bay last week. And they did do pretty decent against Washington. And they got players like Abdul Carter, Sexy Dexy, Dexter Lawrence, who had an interception. I think his name is Dre Phillips. That defense is vastly underrated, in my opinion. So I think that was once the Chargers' offensive line kept going down one after another and getting pressure on Herbert, it was just not good. It was going to be a tough day for the Chargers' offense. But at least the Chargers got more out of Omarion Hampton, and Quentin Johnson continues to build off of his big 2025 campaign. So there's that. Just wish Chargers would execute their offense a little better.
It was a rough day, man. Rough day for those Chargers, man. And all I know is, what do you do? You're right. What do you do when it seems like you're doing everything you can, but nothing's working? You know what I mean? Look, I'm not gonna take anything away from the Giants. They had a tremendous day.
Yeah.
But when it comes down to it, man, the Chargers, it needed to be there. There was something that was missing. I don't know what it was. They just, I don't know. Jackson, again, though, Jackson Dart, not taking anything away from this guy, man. Dart looked solid. The guy got out there, played some good football. This is the direction they got to go. I feel terrible because Russell Wilson, I like him, but I don't know. This is their guy. This has to be their guy moving forward. No, it's only one win, but they beat an undefeated team who looks like they could be a freaking deep playoff caliber team. Okay, so if this kid can do that and get out there and make it happen, maybe they should, start looking in this direction. I feel terrible. I really do, because I like Russell Wilson a lot. But I don't know, Teran. When I see this,
and Giant, I said that the Chargers didn't have most of their offensive line. Well, the Giants unfortunately lost Malik Neighbors, but they were able to overcome that, which I thought was pretty impressive, if you ask me. So
it was
good teams find a way to win. Elite teams find a way to overcome adversity and win.
That they do. So, all right, Teran, let's go ahead and move it on now. Keep it going. Keep the color changing. I see that dark blue. Well, who is that? That's the Texans getting it done. Domination, good sir. Rookie Woody Marks scores twice, and CJ Stroud throws for 233 yards. The Texans blink the Titans 26-0 to earn their first victory of the season. Oops, I screwed up there for the year. First victory of 2025, not 24. But the way they've been playing, it seems like it's been a long time since they've won. But dude, yep, that's right. Wear the hat proud. Teran, what a day. What a day for the Texans. Talk to us.
Yeah, there was, man, if there was ever a game that the Texans needed to win, it was this one. Because most teams that start 0-4 are most likely missing the playoffs. But for the Texans, they were finally able to have some competency in terms of their offense. Their defense pitched a shot for the first time since 2010. I think for Houston, hopefully for their sake, this is the start of something big, because the last team to go 0-3 and make the playoffs was the Houston Texans back in 2018. Albeit they wound up winning the division, but they wound up losing to their division rival in the Colts that year. But that being said, this is a good step in the right direction for Houston, and I'm sure it's going to get better for Houston. I don't think it can get worse. I mean, yeah, they've got Baltimore next week, but Ravens are struggling. Seahawks are an anomaly. We don't know what to expect from them. 49ers, we don't know what to expect from them, just because they're having some issues and so on and so forth. So their schedule is a tough one, yes, but if they play their cards right, they could find their way back into the division.
Oh, they certainly could. Sir, a big day, man. I'm telling you, big day for the Texans. They've been needing this. It sucks because a lot of people are just saying, all right, Stroud, you were solid when you came out. Now you started to go backwards. It's rough. I know that's rough, but I'll tell you right now, he looked good today. They look good today. I know it's the Titans, and the Titans are terrible. Oh my gosh, the Titans look so bad. The Titans are anything but good right now. This team looks like absolute garbage. But what do you do? I mean, right now they're trying to find themselves. Cam Ward, feel bad for the guy, but they need a lot of help over there, and it's not just Cam Ward. So there's a lot of issues over there. So all right, let's go ahead and change that color up into some red, because oh no, the Commanders and Falcons. How about that day? How about that day out there, man? Michael Penix Jr. bounces back big, throwing 2 touchdowns while Bijan Robinson racks up 181 yards from scrimmage, as the Falcons outlast the Commanders 34-27 at home. Both teams are now 2-2. How about these guys, Teran?
Yeah, I thought the Falcons needed a little bit of a bounce back game after last week's debacle. That was just absolutely disgusting by the Falcons getting shut up by the Panthers. The Commanders need Jaden Daniels back ASAP. So if they'll get Jaden Daniels back by next week, then I don't know if they'll win. But what the big problem for Washington is their defense. Their defense is awful. Burnt toast. There's nothing more that needs to be said.
Burnt toast. That's exactly what happened. Because this team, man, I don't know what to say about them. I'll tell you, I like the Commanders right now because they're a solid team. They dismantled the Raiders last week. Not that that's saying anything, but I will say that this Commanders team is solid. But oh my gosh, the Falcons, we talked about this in 8 Division 8 days. I brought up that the Falcons might be a problem team. They might come out and be a pretty real team, man. They just got to get Michael Penix going. And maybe this is what's happening right now. This is a solid football team. The defense was always there. Well, not always, but the defense is there. not totally, but they're better than other defenses, all right? I'll tell you that right now. And the Commanders, look, to do that to the Commanders, especially after such a big victory there, and the Commanders having such a great season last year, the Falcons were a few pieces away. Let's see if they got those pieces. Let's see how good they are now moving forward. So, all right, Teran, let's go ahead and click this on over and go on to the Buffalo Bills, man, taking on the Saints. What a day. Josh Allen does it again. 2 touchdown passes and another rushing as the Bills beat the winless Saints 31-19 to stay undefeated. They are now at 4-0. How about the Buffalo Bills, man?
I'm surprised the Bills didn't win by a lot more, but I credit New Orleans for staying with the Bills. The only problem is that Buffalo is just still Buffalo, and this is what contender teams do. They're supposed to play to their level, and they're supposed to play like with elite talent. And Josh Allen is indeed a fantastic quarterback. He didn't need to do all that much. James Cook is a fantastic running back. He might be one of the best running backs in the league, which is saying a lot.
No, agreed. This Bills team is unreal. I love them. They're here for it. They're ready to play you. They're not going to duck anyone. This team is just amazing. Josh Allen, MVP, dude. This guy's amazing. He proves it every week in, week out. Hell of an athlete, man. What more do you say? The Saints, I regret that. I credit this team for sticking with them because I didn't see it. I didn't see them sticking with them like this. I thought they'd probably take off. The Bills would just take off in the second half. But what are you thinking, Teran? I mean, going forward, Bills, I think they're going to stay pretty strong. Now, as for the Saints, they got some rough road ahead of them, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
It's sad.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty ugly. And looking at the Bills' record, I can expect them to be you can expect them to probably be 7-0 just because they've got some fairly winnable games, New England, Atlanta, and then Carolina. Their true test kind of starts with the Chiefs. Then they've also got the Bucs pretty much on the docket, but you got to take it one game at a time.
One game at a time it is. Well, I'll tell you about a team who's taking it one game at a time because, well, they're doing what they usually do, man. The Philadelphia Eagles doing their thing. The Eagles stay perfect. They know how to count, Teran. 1-0, 2-0, 3-0. But yeah, they're just doing it, man. They're now 4-0. A fake tush push today. Pretty cool to see it. Special teams touchdown there. Clutch defense. They just look good, man. Philly gets it done. They defeat Tampa Bay 31-25 to reach 4-0. Now Hurts and Goddard shine as the Bucs are now 3-1. The battle of 2 undefeateds going head to head. What are you thinking about this one, Teran?
Yeah, this one was a pretty darn good game. I thought the Eagles' offense kind of wavered in the second half. I think after they scored in the third quarter, they just kind of were put on cruise control where Tampa was trying to make a furious comeback. And this was a pretty darn good game. I mean, Jalen Hurts, obviously, he obviously did what he needed to do. And then but it just felt weird not seeing Saquon just have that explosive game and whatnot. But I will say this for the Eagles, they're just trucking along because they don't need to do much offensively. They just need to do their thing and score when they need to score and just make the plays that they need to make. And the defense, even though they gave up 25 to Tampa Bay, they gave up 25 last week to the Rams, and they still wound up winning that as well. So I think for Philadelphia, there obviously is room for improvement, but I think they're definitely still amongst the top teams. All their wins have been by one score, but I can see the Eagles just continuing their winning ways. I don't think they're going to get a little bit of it. They're not going to get a big test until they face the Packers on the 10th. So we'll see what happens.
We'll see those Packers in just a few minutes here, but solid. Eagles stay perfect. They're looking good, and that's just what good football teams do, man. These guys can totally repeat. It's out there in the ether, and everyone's talking about it. This team can totally do it. Browns and Lions, man. Jared Goff connects with Amon-Ra St. Brown. Where's that USC hat at, Teran? For 2 touchdowns, and Khalif Raymond adds a punt return, which is pretty sweet, as the Lions roll Cleveland 34-10 for their 3rd straight victory. How about them Lions, Teran? They start out rough. They're just getting better as they go now.
Yeah, I think the Lions' demise was heavily exaggerated after week one. So I think Detroit is just humming along very nicely. And for Cleveland, I think it's time to start either Dylan Gabriel or Shadur Saunders and whatnot. I just think that Joe Flacco is just sadly not the answer.
Mm-mm.
But Jared Goff, he wasn't even that explosive, but he was able to have himself quite the game and whatnot. The run game for Detroit is just absolutely phenomenal. I think that's it's not big and explosive, but
Mm-hmm.
it's still it's still rather impressive. And I think the Lions defense also is something to watch for as well. Detroit has definitely been on the uptick following their loss to the Packers, and they've got the Bengals next week. Could be a trap game, but honestly, their schedule is going to start to get a little bit more challenging. After the Bengals, they've got the Chiefs and then the Bucks, and we'll get to see how they do against the Vikings and Commanders and Eagles and so on and so forth.
We shall see, man. But I'll tell you right now, Lions looking good, looking strong. Browns, not so much. However, a team that was not so much that looked good today, but then again, you don't want to get too excited because the team that played wasn't that great at all. The Patriots getting a pretty impressive victory today, man. They explode at home. Marcus Jones, 87-yard punt return, sparks the offense as Drake May and Stephon Diggs fuel a 42-13 rout on Carolina. New England is now 2-2. The Panthers dropped to 1-3. Teran, I feel I don't even know how the Panthers won that game. It's hard to believe they even got the one in the win column. Rough go for these guys, but Patriots took care of business today, didn't they?
Yeah, I thought this kind of felt like one of those past New England Patriots games where they would just dominate in all phases. I mean, everything was just pretty much on point for New England. I was just overall impressed by them. I think is this the start of something special? I doubt it. I mean, I think the Panthers and Patriots are pretty much on the same level, and the Panthers so much for having a big breakout game last year, or last week against Atlanta. So it's just back to the drawing board for the Panthers. And for the Patriots, they're 2-2, but I want to see what they can really do against the better teams.
No, it's true. It's true. I don't know, man. The Patriots are just there. This team is such an oddball team right now because you think they're going to be solid. We thought they would be at least solid-ish. They came in, they looked horrible. I know it's growing pains. Our very own Brian Francione, our New England insider, couldn't believe it. Mistake-free. That's right, mistake-free football, my friend. They played great football today. I know it wasn't the greatest day, but you know what? You could have there's a lot worse days you could have, and I think they've seen a lot of those days in the most recent weeks. So hey, screw it. They get the victory. They look good, at least today. We'll see how they go moving forward. How about those Jacksonville Jaguars, Teran? The Jaguars handled the freaking 49ers, man. First loss of the season, gritty 26-21 road victory. I mean, these guys look good, man. They look good in so many phases of the game. It was very, very, very solid all the way around, man. The Jaguars didn't even have as many yards. I mean, it wasn't like it was a whole bunch, but it was crazy, man. This wasn't about yards gained, but about turnovers and special teams execution. The 49ers were sloppy with the ball, giving Jacksonville short fields and easy opportunities. Jacksonville didn't waste them at all. They converted takeaways into points. A team's ground dominance allowed the Jaguars to balance the offense and control clock late. I mean, Darren, this looked good, man. The freaking Jaguars, man, they took advantage of everything they were given today, and they look good.
Yeah, Jacksonville off to a 3-1 start and winning on the road. That's a pretty solid win right there. And they got off to such a slow start, but then they really picked it up in the second quarter. And the third quarter, they just added to that. I will say this about San Francisco. I don't know what happened with them. I mean, Brock Purdy in his first game back didn't look like the Brock Purdy that helped the 49ers make the Super Bowl a couple of years ago. And I get they still have some missing key pieces, but they couldn't run the ball all that effectively. It just got turned into a pass fest. But that's kind of what happens when you fall behind early and often, and you have to start passing the ball. So I think for San Francisco, it's tough because they've got a short week ahead of them. They got to figure it out soon because they don't want to fall further back into the division. I know it's their first loss, but it seems like that division is tightening up.
It's true. It's how would you describe the AFC South right now? This is fun, right?
Yeah, the AFC South, it's an anomaly. I mean, it feels like 1 week you have one team that could be the clear-cut winner, and then the team that's supposed to be the clear-cut winner taking a step back. And now the Jacksonville Jaguars are starting to resurge themselves. But again, we can't count out a whole lot of these teams. Can't count out the Colts or the Texans. I think Jacksonville still has a little ways to go.
They do, and again, I'm not going to sit here and start saying this is going to be the next Super Bowl champions, dude, at all. But what I will say is they look pretty good, dude. You know what? Go Jags! They got it done today. The Niners, I don't even know what happened to that team, but I'll tell you right now. Look, when you gift, some teams will take, right?
Right.
And well, they gifted a lot today, so there you have it. All right, man, we're heading over to Arrowhead because wow, Ravens and Chiefs, man. Patrick Mahomes threw for 4 touchdowns. The Chiefs rolled past the Ravens, 37-20 at Arrowhead. Kansas City capitalizes on 2 turnovers. Lamar goes down with a hamstring. Oh no, this is hard. I mean, it was just a perfect storm for the Chiefs and an actual storm for the Ravens. And now let's see if they can even weather the storm because it's kind of nasty now, man. We might have to spend a few minutes on this one, but Ravens are 1-3 now. Very dangerous territory, especially with the Steelers looking so good. And the Chiefs are now 2-2, slow start, but we're only a quarter of the way in the season, Teran. So looking at this game, what are you thinking?
Well, this actually was the first time Patrick Mahomes, one of the first few times that Patrick Mahomes was an underdog. And he is actually 0-2 as an underdog, but now he gets his first win as an underdog. Look, Kansas City, I feel that Kansas City wasn't going to be down for the count for too much longer. I think the Chiefs are starting to refine themselves. They're starting to figure it out. They got to figure out their run game, especially. I just don't understand how they just don't have the run game working effectively. They've got key pieces like Pacheco, Hunt. Worthy is kind of getting – Worthy came back and played in his first game back from injury. So that was big right there. But speaking of injuries, Lamar Jackson obviously getting hurt. That's going to be something everyone's going to be holding their breath and keeping an eye on. And the Ravens are 1-3 for the first time since 2015. And I don't think that was the year they made the playoffs. So, and the Ravens schedule gets pretty okay, maybe a little tough. Their next 2 games are a little bit tough with the Texans and Rams. That kind of eases up with the Bears and Dolphins. Vikings are kind of 50-50. Browns, Jets, Bengals, that could kind of be those are winnable. Steelers are going to be tough. Bengals, I mean, if Joe Burrow comes back and the Bengals are in the playoff hunt, maybe we could see Joe Burrow and the Bengals at full strength, but we'll have to wait and see.
No, it's true, man. What's going on, Mikey Two Guns? Yeah, Patriots. I wouldn't say they're back, but they got a nice victory. they got a nice win over a JV opponent. But hey, I'll take a win, right? I'll take a win anytime you can get a win. I'll take it. So Rams, Rams. Sorry, I was going into the Rams game already, but yeah. Look, Chiefs looking good. Tough go, man. I feel really terrible for the Ravens, but what do you do, man? It's football, right? And it's just the way the football bounces sometimes. So, Teran, now we're going into that color you're wearing right now, that jersey you're wearing, because I'm going to cut this game into 2. Rams are now 3-1, back-to-back strong performances by Stafford and Nakua. They looked amazing. They looked really, really good. Now, on the other side of that coin, you have the Colts. It's first loss. It stings, especially with mistakes and penalties being the deciding factor. Jones has to limit turnovers if Indy wants to stay in the AFC South race. But going back to the Rams, man, I mean, this offense is more dangerous, I think, than people expected. If the run game continues to continue to do what they've been doing, LA will be a serious threat in the entire NFC, not just the NFC South. What do you think?
Yeah, I think the Rams are
I mean,
definitely.
NFC West. Sorry,
Yeah,
NFC West.
yeah.
My
This is
apologies.
kind of one of those interesting games. I mean, the Rams, they were obvious. They looked good for the most part. I mean, it looked like it was going to be gloomy and doomy, especially after Kyron Williams fumbled. But they were able to come up big on that fourth down play in the red zone. And
Mm-hmm.
Matthew Stafford, this is like his umpteenth game-winning drive, and it's really impressive if you ask me. I mean,
Oh yeah.
obviously Tutu Atwell came up big, but Puka Nacua, this guy just continues to just be absolutely incredible for the Rams. And
Mm-hmm.
I think that is a massive part on why the Rams are still 3-1. And this is the first time they've been 3-1 since 2021 when
That's
they wound up
crazy.
winning the Super Bowl. So Colts, oh man, this is a tough one. This is going to be a tough one to swallow if you're a Colts fan, but they're still having a solid season. They just can't accumulate too many of these losses, especially since Jacksonville is pretty much on the rise. So they've got a couple games that are winnable, and then they've got one game that's pretty much can be a little bit of a hiccup. So we'll see what the Colts can do.
No, it's true, man. I mean, the Rams scored 14 points in the fourth quarter, including the game-winning 88-yard touchdown connection from Matthew Stafford to Tutu Atwell. I mean, it was amazing. These guys look good. It was a great performance overall from the Rams. But it's rough go too for those Colts, man. I don't know. It's hard to see, hard to think about. It's been so long since I forgot what a blowout win feels like, right? Hey, look, I'll tell you right now, Mikey, you better chill, man. You know, you've had 2 decades of blowing out everybody, winning Super Bowls, all these things. So, yeah, those Patriots fans, man, you guys enjoy, man. You guys, one of the most winningest franchises ever. Colts are definitely crazy. I don't understand. It's a trip. And yeah, as for the Brady being the owner, I think he made a mistake. Poor Brady. I think Brady made a horrible mistake. Because, well, is it already that time, Teran, to talk about this game? It is. This is the only game left. It is. I didn't even expect this one here. But yeah. So, Teran, I haven't even got my color ready yet. Man, I was slipping. I got really into that last one. But all right, well, let's go ahead and get into the last game because this was hilarious. Oh my gosh, it was funny. I'm not upset. I'm not mad. I just think it's kind of funny. Bears just get it done. They get it done. That's what the Bears did. The Bears got it done. They knocked off the Raiders 25-24 at home, well, on the road. It was everything you thought a Raiders game would be. Lots of hope given, a solid game for the most part, and just as you thought the Raiders might get, I mean, how about this? Genty, 138 yards, 1 touchdown, 21 carries. This guy looked solid. Gino didn't look that great, but this big day for Genty. I feel terrible for him. I don't feel bad for anybody else. Crosby, because he's the only guy who gives a crap on the defense. But I'll tell you right now, Williams, solid performance. 22 for 37, not the best completions, but 212 yards, 1 touchdown. Odunze, 4 receptions, 69 yards, 1 touchdown. But how do you do it? This is how you do it, Raiders. This is how you get it done. You don't punch it in when you need to at the end of the game. You fall short. And then you head down the field and think you're going to get bailed out by a field goal. And then you just get that field goal blocked. That's what you do. That's how you do it. Good job, because that is Raiders style right there. That's how you win it. Die hard my whole life. Used to the disappointment. And, well, that's what happens, man. Bears knock off the Raiders. Honestly, I hate to, I do not want to say it. I hate being that guy to say this kind of crap, but I think this is more of a Raiders loss than a Bears win. That was really sad. Bears definitely won that game, but it's just the way they lost was hilarious. So hats off to the Bears. Great game to those guys, but the Raiders, you guys look like crap, and that's just all there is to it. Yeah, man. I guess. Yep, there you go. You find a way to lose, right? So, Darren, your thoughts on this hilarious game?
Yeah, I'll give the Raiders some credit. At least they know how to run the ball with Ashton Genty. Man, he had himself quite the game, and he had every touchdown the Raiders had today, which is pretty darn good if you ask me. Now, other than that, the Raiders weren't ultimately impressive too much.
No.
And, you mentioned it best. 3 interceptions. Oof. And some of those throws were just, man, they were terrible.
Hideous.
So Chicago, man, it's a miracle they were able to pull off that win because their offense was no better than the Raiders. So
No.
Chicago found a way to win, and they're 500. But the Raiders, oh gosh, 1-3. I'm a little concerned for the black and silver, especially since they've got the Colts next week. Titans are winnable, but then they've got the Chiefs, Jags, and Chargers on back-to-back-to-backs. Then they've got the Cowboys. So I'm sorry, they got the Broncos. So Chiefs, Jaguars, Broncos, then Cowboys. And then after they play the Browns, they've got the Chargers. So the schedule's only gonna get tougher, and there's not gonna be a lot of cupcakes for the Raiders to win. So I'm sorry to say that, but unfortunately, the Raiders, this was their chance to win. And unfortunately, it's rare to see Daniel Carlson have a special teams gaffe, but special teams does matter.
He's not blocking, so what do you do? It's what we've come to expect as Raider fans. Good job to the Bears. What do you say? Good job, guys. Good job, Chicago. Way to go, Raiders, special teams unit especially. My gosh. With that said, man, there you go. Crazy day. Let's get ready for the Sunday night game, shall we, Teran? That was oh man, it's still somber note there. Let's get our green back, shall we, and get on into tonight's game. So a quick little preview. These guys are getting ready to kick off right now, but Green Bay Packers 3-0, Dallas Cowboys 2-1. This is I don't even really know what to say about this game. I mean, what 2 teams licking their wounds after being blown out. They meet on a primetime game here. I don't know. I don't even know what to say. Actually, no, I'm sorry. I'm reading for the next one. Sorry, that's the Bengals one we're going to read in a few minutes. Okay. Getting into this game, it's the return of Micah Parsons. Is it too soon to say that? Okay. I don't know. Much hyped, maybe not. I don't know. The Cowboys defensive star is back in the spotlight in Dallas as they try to hand Green Bay its first loss. Meanwhile, Jordan Love and the Packers, man, they're quietly one of the hottest teams in the NFL. They're looking good. They're playing good. I don't got nothing else. All I know is this is a good game, man. The unbeaten Packers, the Cowboys that are trying to make some kind of statement. I mean, I don't know. This is an odd game. All I got to say is I'm definitely taking the Packers in this game.
Same. Yeah, this is going to be a movie here. It's Micah Parsons' return to Dallas. It's these two always love to face one another, and it seems like we get to see this matchup more often than not. But that being said, Green Bay is going to win this one. I feel the Packers, obviously last week wasn't terrible, but oh man, that's a game they're going to want back if it boils down to the last few days of the NFL. So I think for Green Bay, they should win this one. The Cowboys are I think they're a little bit of a mess right now. No CeeDee Lamb. So I think for the Packers, this should be a fairly easy win right there. Yeah. I would be surprised if the Cowboys were to pull off the upset, let alone make this a game.
Yeah, I don't see this game being anywhere near close. What do you say? What do you say when you have a team that's just not – they're not there, dude. The Cowboys look horrible. They look absolutely horrible. They're going to keep looking horrible. What do you do? But there's a game tomorrow night. There's 2 games tomorrow night, Teran. We have the New York Jets who are 0-3 and the Miami Dolphins at 0-3. Teran, somebody's going to win tomorrow unless there's a tie. If this game ends in a tie, I will laugh the hardest. Teran, I will pee. Like, I don't even care. Like, I might have to just watch this game in the bathroom in the fourth quarter if they tie. Like, I mean, this is just like the Raiders. This is just like the Raiders, like, knowing how to lose. Both these teams are professionals at knowing how to lose. Like, I mean, I don't understand. It's hilarious. So, Teran, the New York Jets look horrible. The Miami Dolphins look horrible. But someone's got to win unless they somehow tie. And honestly, I'm like kind of considering that as my pick right now. But Teran, what do you think?
Man, no matter who wins between Jets and Dolphins, I feel both of their seasons are done. I mean, something's got to give, and I'm going to take the Dolphins to win. Again, I don't trust either of these teams. Both of these teams are absolutely terrible. It's just this one might be a race to the bottom.
Teran, I'm going to go with a 21-21 tie.
Okay.
This is the first time I've ever done that. I don't know what else to say. They suck. I mean, again, I'm a Raider fan, so no one could tell me a damn thing because I know where my team is. So no, I mean, you know what I mean. I feel like B Rabbit. Remember in what was it Malibu's Most Wanted, where he disses himself. You know what I mean? Like, I can diss my team all day long, but that means I can come after your team too. So I mean, what do you do? But I'm just kidding. But I don't know, Teran. This is a sad game. This is two sad teams. I just have a feeling somehow, some way, it's going to end up even sadder with a funny result. I don't know, but this is rough. Yeah, well, Brian's laughing in here. I've never picked a tie in my life, so I don't. Teran, if he's talking about the Cowboys losing here, I don't. But yeah, so there's that game, and then of course the other doubleheader game: Cincinnati Bengals at 1-2, Denver Broncos at 2-1. And this is what I was talking about earlier, as this game Sunday night gets ready to kick off right now. But yeah, so two teams licking their wounds after blowout losses last week. Crazy. The Joe Burrow injury now, he's on IR with the toe injury, has shifted Cincinnati's offense into Jake Browning's hands, and it hasn't been pretty. Meanwhile, Denver rookie Bo Nix has shown flashes of promise in J.K. Dobbins' providing balance, right, to Sean Payton's scheme. But the Broncos want to prove they're real AFC West contenders. Are they? We don't know yet. Well, the Bengals are just trying to stay afloat, honestly. So what do you think about this game?
This one's kind of an interesting game. The Broncos can't really afford a loss when it comes to their season. Their two losses are by walk-off field goals, which is pretty funny. I mean, the Colts one, I just don't understand how they get a leverage call. And then get one against the Chargers, I think that was more so they lost that one. They weren't disciplined and whatnot. Mm-hmm. So I have the Broncos winning. I can't imagine the Broncos losing to the Bengals. I also want to get their lick back from last year, because the Bengals did beat the Broncos last year in overtime in week 17. Yeah, week 17. And the schedule's going to get tougher for Denver. And I don't want to say this in a negative way about Bo Nix, but I think he's kind of suffering from the sophomore slump. And the Broncos, they got to win this one, because next week they've got Philadelphia. Oof. If they don't win that, then I don't know what to say with the Broncos, because they ought to be thanking their lucky stars. The Chargers biffed on Biff today. But if they keep playing the way that they are, they're going to be further and further back of the AFC West, and it's going to be a nightmare for them trying to catch the Chiefs and Chargers.
Oh, it will be. So as we get ready to kick off right now, this second on Sunday Night Football, Cowboys kicking off to the Packers. Let's really briefly get into Thursday Night Football this week, week 5 of the NFL. Teran, we're just rolling. That jersey you're wearing is going into battle on Thursday night. Short week. 49ers at Rams. 49ers took their first loss at 3-1. The Rams looked really good. They're also at 3-1. Stafford, 739 yards now on the year, 5 touchdowns. He's throwing 2 picks, but okay. I mean, I don't know. Puka Nacua, he's over 300 yards. Williams, he's over 200 yards. Dude, this is going to be a fun game in SoCal, in the SoFi Stadium. But I don't know, Teran. I want to say this could be, and it probably will be, a really nasty rivalry game. But I'm going Rams in this one.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Rams too. No Nick Bosa for the Niners. He's out for the year. So that's one less problem that Matthew Stafford has to deal with. The run game just hasn't been as effective. I think the Rams defense just is starting to improve drastically. And again, it's a short week for the Niners. I think they have too many question marks in terms of key injuries and whatnot. Yeah, they got Brock Purdy back, but honestly, I think that I think the Rams should build off the momentum from this win against the Colts and whatnot. So give me the Rams in a barn burner.
Could not agree more. That is going to be a fun game, and that is going to be our fun show. Ladies and gentlemen, that is that, man. Like I said, we're officially underway in Dallas. Again, Packers, there's no way. If the Packers lose this game, now we're going to have so many question marks on the Packers. Probably even more on the Cowboys somehow, some way, but I just don't see that happening. So, good times, Darren, good times. Regardless, good show tonight, man. Fun stuff. This is just always a great show. Always a lot of fun to do. What do you do, Teran? What do you do when you have two teams that are just on their way doing some things, man? Like that right there, down the field. Packers are already off to a great start. Yeah, yep, that's how they do it. You have two teams here. One team solid, the other team not. That's what you do. That's what you do on a Sunday night. You try to play to your best potential, but I don't see that happening with the Cowboys. Anyway, Darren, there you have it, man. We had ourselves a good one tonight. Fun show as always. Thank you to all people tuning in, man. You guys are amazing. The the Rams did their thing, all right? And everybody in between. I mean, it was a crazy day, starting off in Dublin, Ireland. And, well, now we continue on our pace. Darren, any last thoughts before we're out here tonight?
We had 6 undefeated teams going into week number 4. Only 2 undefeated teams remain, the Eagles and the Bills.
It was, you're right, and there we go. Salute to you, Mr. Marcus Lowe's great. And again, everybody who tuned in, man, you guys are amazing. We appreciate you all. Make sure to check out our awesome sponsors, Planet Jerky, Premium Brisket, Beef Jerky, the jerky that's on a whole other planet, and of course, Vital Apparel. Appreciate you guys, man. IESR, check out 15% off, and of course, you support both us and the awesome brand that supports mental health and great gym wear. And of course, follow us, TikTok, YouTube, subscribe, like, share, all that good stuff. And that is gonna be that, man. So with that said, Teran, we are up out of here tonight, man. We got ourselves a fun one coming on up next weekend. So many great games at the high school level, college level. We're gonna end off with some good NFL ones here for the night, man. And of course, Thursday Night Football. Teran, I will see you Saturday. For Teran Rodriguez, for me, your boy Larry B, signing off. We'll see you next week. Until then, take care. And as always, God bless.
Peace.
Peace.